One of the most distinctive features of design history is the fact that it is a very interdisciplinary field. First of all, the fact that actually it borrows in terms of methodologies and theories from a variety of different areas.
The brilliant distinctive thing about design history as a discipline is that it brings together objects, people and context. It allows us to understand the world as it's been, the world as it is, and the world as it will be in the future.
The design history toolkit is varied in the sense that I don't think there is one toolkit for everyone. In my case, what I think has been quite distinctive was my training in economic history. Therefore, for instance, the kind of question that I ask relate, for instance, to manufacturing, the cost of manufacturing, the techniques of manufacturing. At the same time, over the past few years, my toolkit has expanded to include also an engagement with global history.
In my design history toolkit, I think I have a pair of spectacles, because you've got to look at things, and one of the things I really appreciate from my design history training is the way it made me properly understand the way objects look, feel, sound, their materiality. So spectacles, good set of hearing. If you've got a good set of hearing, a sense of touch, you bring all your senses into understanding the object. So I think design history, over the period of nearly 40 years in which I've been engaging with it, has helped me to understand a changing world.
As a field, it might appear actually a rather small field. For instance, it might appear as a small branch of history, not to say a small branch of design. Put together is an interesting coming together of two different, very different, surely disciplines. Design history has informed the work I'm doing. From the very beginning, I was interested in you might call it a very materialistic view of the world. That's the kind of view that an economic historian would have. While the ways in which I approach the world around me, present and past, has been instead of trying to give back that materiality to the world.
Socially engaged design history, I think, has in a sense always been with us, because in some ways the beginnings of design history was utopian, modernist with a capital M. It was about the way that design can change the world in functional ways to allow for life to be better, rational, and equal. Now I think as we're moving into a world where questions of climate crisis, biodiversity, challenges around biodiversity, the sustainability of the planet as we know it, there's a new refreshed role for design history. I think design history, in a world where the arts and humanities in some senses and in some structures are being questioned, that design history in the way that it spans science, technology, culture and history has a way to position itself in the interstices, in the cracks between, and thrive in those gaps. So I very much hope the discipline will do that.
What we have seen in the past few years, there is a trend, and this trend is, first of all, to reflect on geographies that are outside Western Europe and surely outside the realm of the UK. Today, instead, I think we are asking questions that are much more relevant to the present. So, question of sustainability and questions of inequality will be, I think, at the center of design history. And that shows also the kind of directions of new ways of thinking in terms of interdisciplinarity or interdisciplinary alliances.